I'm pleased to be here again with Joy this evening, hosting part 2 of maintaining mental health during COVID-19. Tonight, we're fortunate to have Joy again share her wisdom and experience with us on the topic of cognitive behavioral therapy. For our new visitors, my name is Lara Melashenko. I'm a professional learner, educator, and follower of Jesus. And Joy has dedicated the past 25 years of her life to facilitating hope, healing, and restoration to the hurting. She's worked as a professional counselor in a variety of clinical and residential settings, including a youth prison. She has a great deal of experience on which to draw this evening. On a personal note, Joy enjoys gardening on the patio, hanging out with her friends, hiking, trips to Banff and the Caribbean beaches. Her favorite foods are Italian, Mexican, vegan, Asian, and she loves Ethos in Orlando. So any gift cards for Ethos out there, pass them along her way. We're eager to learn, Joy, how to strengthen our mental thought processes this next hour. Before we get started, would you just invite Jesus to join us?
We have to meet even online this evening. And I want to thank you so much for the hope that you give us for each one. I just pray for those that are viewing with us this evening, and that the words that we speak will bring honor and glory to you, and hope and healing for those that are with us. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So, last week, Joy, you did a great job creating a picture for us on how to recognize and manage not only just our own emotions, but how to understand and support those around us. We had a lot of follow-up questions and comments. There certainly, obviously, is a need for us to take hold of our emotions during this time. Certainly, when the mind takes us down hopeless paths. Can you share with us, just recap, emotional intelligence? And for those of you who weren't here, there is a recording of last Friday and the previous Friday nights at radiobiblelight.com. So go for it, Joy. Tell us, what did you do last week? And tell us what's going to happen this week.
Well, thank you so much, Lara, for that enthusiastic introduction. And yes, we're going to get started. I'm going to start actually with a couple of disclaimers. If we could have the slideshow. These presentations, I just want to emphasize, are for health education purposes, and they're not to be construed or interpreted as professional therapy or to be considered as mental health treatment in place of therapy. If you are someone that you know is experiencing mental health challenges or relationship challenges, I would just really strongly encourage you to seek a health professional for help with these issues. Another disclaimer we have also is that even though I do work as a provisional psychologist, the information and presentation I'm doing this evening is not in my capacity as a psychologist. It is presented as a fellow Christian, and I'm gleaning from my professional work to provide examples and theoretical evidence-based information. We have been so appreciative of your questions, comments, and your encouragement. Thank you so much. And just to keep on track, we will be answering and responding only to those items that pertain to the subject matter that we are presenting. To start with, as a recap, our presentation outline for tonight, we'll be doing a little bit of a brief overview from last week to get people up to speed and have context. And we will do a description of cognitive behavioral therapy, or the short form is CBT. We'll help you to identify some of those thought processes, tell you the ABCs on how to do it, and do some practice examples. So if you might want to get out a pen and paper and take some notes, or also to jot a few things down as we go along. So just from last week, we have emotional intelligence. The definition is about recognizing and managing your emotions and those of others. Would recommended reading for all of you any of you who are interested is Daniel Goleman's book on emotional intelligence. And I would just recommend that you, for some extra information, would go through with that. The 5 main components from Daniel Goleman on emotional intelligence are self-awareness, and which are metacognition, or higher levels of internal processing, managing our emotions, self-motivation, empathy, and handling our relationships. Thomas Jefferson once said that nothing gives one person so much an advantage over another as to remain always cool and unruffled under all circumstances. And when we're talking about a situation like COVID-19 and the stressors and the various things that people are going through, it has been very difficult for many individuals to remain cool and unruffled under these circumstances. So what we're hoping to do tonight is, as a further step in the achievement of emotional intelligence, we are hoping to be able to help folks to be able to control that.
Speaking about remaining cool under pressure, Thomas's quote, I belong to a Facebook group, Joy, called YYC COVID-19 Volunteers. It was a group started about 7 weeks ago by 3 Calgarians, Eric Prangnell, Sienna Holden, and Anna Walker. And I'm telling you this because it's very relevant to where you're going to go today. 2 days after the pandemic was announced, these 3 individuals started this group. And to date, there are over 17 or close to 17,000 Calgarians and Albertans who have joined this Facebook group. And essentially what it was for was just to get people connected with other people that had needs. To pick up, drop off, purchase supplies, offer encouragement, make announcements. And so over the last 7 weeks, Joel and I have kind of bumped in on several needs, and it has been amazing to see how a community can come together. And I would say the absolute biggest lesson I've learned is that it is a critical thing for us to have community at a time of struggle like this. Maintaining perspective is so much easier when you're in a community. For instance, yesterday, a young woman, her name is Joanna, she posted a message to the group. I'm finding myself depressed and feeling alone. I miss my friends and small support circle. How are some of you coping with this? And Joy, do you know that there were 222 people that responded to Joanna? Just incredible, offering her encouragement and suggestions on how to get back up emotionally. So we need community for mental health, for healthy minds and bodies. But we also need to bring our own thoughts into captivity when they're taking us down unhealthy places. And this is the essence, right, of cognitive behavioral therapy, taking control of our thoughts and learning new ways of thinking. It's what we can do as humans. So Joy, launch us. Tell us about cognitive behavioral therapy. How do we capture our thoughts and put ourselves on a healthy path?
Well, thank you so much. That group sounds incredible. In fact, we might even have some folks just hearing you that want to be part of something like that. And, you know, that's the kind of stuff that a therapist can't even do. So I just, you know, when you're reaching out to somebody else, like peer work is just so important. Thank you so much for sharing that. And turning into the cognitive behavioral thing, we will go to our slideshow. So there are some basic several core principles for cognitive behavioral therapy. And the first one is that our psychological problems are based in part on faulty or unhelpful ways